Well, your father was a leader of the opposition against Elder Marcos, ano? So ang sinasabi ngayon, well, it's the 50th anniversary of the imposition of martial law. Sabi nung kapatid ni President Marcos, si Senator, your colleague, Senator Amy, na at this point daw, yung election ng brother niya shows na Filipinos don't care about martial law anymore. What do you think of that statement?
Well, a lot of Filipinos have no recollection or have no idea of what it was like during the Marcos martial law period. So pwedeng totoo yun kasi siyempre that was already 50 years ago. So my point is, as a people, as a society, as a nation, we must have some lessons learned from such an unfortunate dark period in the history of our country. Dapat meron tayong natutunan sa yugto na yon ng ating kasaysayan. Ang isang lesson nga, that's why we adjusted the martial law provisions, ay yun, masyadong makapangyarihan naman ang presidente that he could declare martial law and not have it reviewed and not have the decision reviewed. So ginawa natin yung there's an elaborate section, di ba? Or yes, elaborate section on how the martial law declaration is reviewed. And nagamit natin and it worked.
Well, do you see that kind of martial law returning? Do you see that kind of martial law returning under the son and namesake of the former? Kasi sinasabi nila, they are comparing the son with the father. At sinasabi nila, medyo iba, no? Iba yung takbo, iba yung pag-iisip, parang iba yung worldview. Do you agree with that? And do you see that being repeated under this administration?
Number one, I hope not. That it will, our 1972 experience will no longer be repeated in the 2020s. And then, number two, the world has changed na rin eh. So, kung gagamitin mo yung communism excuse or reason, that will no longer work this time. So, maybe another excuse can be invented. But
it's easy to invent reasons. People had these concerns na, even without declaring martial law, the anti-terror law, for example, and the provisions there that basically opens the Pandora's box on intent, for example, is precisely that kind of a slippery slope that will lead us to that path anyway. And then you have Senator Juan Ponce Enrile saying na, let's make imminent danger a legislated standard for whether or not we should exercise these options. I mean, all of these things being propounded and being floated, what does that suggest about the stability and the security of our rule of law and democratic institutions?
We are quoting a senator who was part of the Marcos martial law preparation and Marcos martial law declaration, as well as administration. I think he was the chief implementer of the Marcos martial law. So, iba po yung karanasan niya, and that's a very unique experience. Only applicable to him kasi he saw it as from the implementer's point of view. Tayo from the common man's point of view, tayo from the people's point of view. Diba? Hindi tayo makasalita, walang free speech. Yung freedom of assembly, wala. Yung may mga namatayan, may nakulong. Hindi maintindihan bakit, anong kasalanan? Because you were issued an ASO, you were issued the Presidential Commitment Order. So this is the perspective which is more valid because ito po yung naranasan po ng common man. Kaya when we hear suggestions na ganito, at the time when we have democracy, we have free speech, then we have periodic elections, and even the attempt to amend the Constitution will be subjected to a plebiscite. So we should resist, we should speak out uh, criticize or advance a counter perspective and then defeat this proposal, these dangerous proposals in the plebiscites to be called.
Well, in the meantime, some of your colleagues are actually saying that it's time to move on from this, martial law narrative, supposedly. That's been changed precisely by the election of a President Marcos Jr. Ano naman ang sa inyo dyan, Senator?
Well, no need to say to move on because the world has moved on. Philippine society has moved on. We do not talk about martial law 24 hours in a day. But don't tell us not to remember what happened in September 1972. Hindi dapat kinakalimutan yan. And then, meron pong mga namatay dyan. Meron pong pinahirapan dyan. Meron pong nag-disappear dyan. Meron pong nakulong dyan. Thousands. And definitely, may mga insights din tayong makukuha sa experience na yan. So, we should be allowed to talk about all of these things, what happened, the facts, the history, as well as the lessons learned, the insights, and the proposals or pushback to proposals that we go back to such an unfortunate period in our country's history.